I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
All right, let's just get right into it. Let's not mess around today.
How are we doing?
Fine. How are you?
Ooh, it's good. I got my bean boots on. Here, peep this.
Oh, yeah. I can see under the table. You don't have to. Okay. Yeah. You got the short ones or the tall ones? Short ones. Not the ultra short ones. The middling ones. Bean boys. Damn. Represent.
Me and my buddies all got bean boots same time in college.
You have literally talked about this maybe 100 times.
Well, hey, now you know. So we got the beans on. I got to take them off, put them in my Birks in a little bit.
I was going to say, do you leave them on all day? No, that's crazy.
No, they're going to get hot. I just forgot I had them on. But
like you get trench foot.
I'll get trench foot real fast.
Yeah, he's right. Nothing's really going on. You know, what's going on with you? Nothing?
We got Nanamika delivering today. I'm gassed for that.
Mm-hmm.
Got some crew neck sweaters that I'm looking to cop. I think it's the rest of the stuff. So that's coming. In terms of other work things.
I'm noticing if you suddenly get rid of the burrow jacket, I'm noticing you might be walking in the path of daddy because you're starting to get into your boring bag with clothes. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, here's the thing is, you know that I have that gray cross-cut engineered garments crew neck.
Mm-hmm.
You know that? And I got that. In fact, Timothy, I remember when I got it, it was fall winter 2019, I believe. And I've worn it so fucking much. The sleeves are however, point being.
Wait, what is it?
That gray crew neck from EG. Yeah. I wear it all the fucking time. But it's the only thing I have like that. So I figure I'll get another gray one. Good to go. Now I got two. I'm done experimenting. We don't need to go into this. I've said this 9 times.
No, you're not. You'll decide later.
I'm keeping the Boro, but again, it's denim jackets, bro. That's what I'm interested in right now. That's what I want, and that's what I can't get enough of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows. By the way, I need clarification.
Gay is in.
Gay it's gonna be.
Yeah. Gay it's gotta be.
Yeah, gotta be. He goes, Guillermo, I've known you since you were a young familiar.
I get Gia, and I shouldn't because she's saying the word bastard, I suppose, now that I'm thinking about it. But like she was just in the bath the other day just playing, and I just hear her I step out to it's a long story. The cat tries to get in the bath all the time. I take the cat out. And I was like stepping out to do that, and I just hear her doing the, you're the most devious bastard. And I was like, oh, God.
Well, you said that she'll also start doing New York City.
Yep. Loves it.
So anyway, you've watched What We Do in the Shadows?
I've told you. I've seen a bunch
of clips.
I've seen a bunch of clips, but I've also seen, because it'll just come up because I started looking at it and now it won't go away, which is fine because I like it.
Yeah.
But it plays after stuff all the time on I think Hulu or something.
Hulu will just pick back up on that. Yeah.
And sometimes if I'm just bored of podcasts, I just put on it's just shows I've seen before, so I don't have to look at them. But I like the sound, like a radio on while I'm doing stuff, and then that'll come on after stuff. So I've bled into I don't know how many episodes at this point.
You've seen.
I just haven't actively watched it, if that makes sense. So. In a weird way, yes, I've seen it. In another way, I'd be like, no, I couldn't necessarily tell you exact plot things all over the map, but certain episodes and stuff.
Michelle and I really loved What We Do in the Shadows, the movie. I remember watching it. I can remember when I first moved here to Colorado, mattress on the floor, had my PlayStation 4 day one already loud as fuck. Fan, it could have risen off the ground. You know what I mean? It'd be so loud. And I had my little TV the size of a laptop next to me, and that thing would also get hot. You know what I mean? And I can remember one night sitting there and being like, what is this? It's on HBO or something. And I watched it and I was like, no, but I've never heard somebody talk about this movie.
Yeah.
And so then we started the show 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Didn't stick with us, and I'm so happy we finally circled back. That's
good.
It's so good. I think Nadia, the woman who plays Nadia, is the funniest person on the planet.
Shout out Nadia. That's also the name of my therapist. So
hell yeah.
Shout out her.
Yeah.
I don't know what her last name is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I don't care if people know. You can go to her too.
She rules. So
she ain't gonna say shit, so it's fine. She's not a snitch. I can tell Nadia's tight.
Yeah. So, but that's about it. To wrap up the thought on what we do in the shadows, you should watch it if it at all interests you, and you haven't. It's a good show. I think it's for everybody. rotten soldier. But
Rotten soldier. You're my rotten soldier.
I am, bro. Yeah, I'll do dirt.
Okay, what did you do this weekend? Anything exciting?
What did we do this weekend? Saturday I was solo dolo at the house. I did a little bit of cleaning, watched some sports, played some video games, fucked off.
Super Bowl weekend, right?
Super Bowl. And then the Super Bowl was Sunday. We woke up, hit Whole Foods as a way to celebrate the Super Bowl. I went above and beyond and I made a tray of nachos. Imagine the biggest baking sheet you've ever got.
You and Y's above and beyond might be different.
I went above and beyond. I put in the extra effort and I made a big baked tray of nachos. It was so much. I took in so many calories with heinous disregard. I had a Sapporo and half of a Coors Light tall boy and fell asleep in the third quarter while Michelle and I were watching. And that was what I did Sunday. It was fine. I didn't hit on a single bet. Did Abby? I don't think Abby did.
No.
Because I know all her bets.
No.
And we were mirroring and
Yeah, it
talking
wasn't
to it.
great.
Saquon didn't score. So it kind of RF'd everybody.
Look, I don't know
out there who
anything
made a
about
bet.
sports, and I just would like walk past the screen when stuff was happening, and it seemed really boring because it seemed like it was just sort of like done right away.
It was a boring game. It was a boring game in that.
You know, one thing one bet I made is that no matter what would happen, Philadelphia would be destroyed.
Well, that's what I said. I said
That's
before
the
the
bet
game
you should have
started.
made.
I said, you know what? One thing that we're thinking about is Philly is burning regardless.
Good or
tonight.
bad, that thing is going to the ground.
Fucking insane,
Yeah.
dude. I want to circle back to Philadelphia. But the game was boring because the way that I was feeling about the game was this. Chiefs win. It was a three-peat, never been done before. I'd be happy to see history be made. I think the Chiefs are a good team. They're fun to watch. I think Mahomes is a very talented athlete, and I like watching him play.
I don't like him at all, except for that one clip where he talks about the chain smokers coming to the party, and he sounds exactly like Kenny Powers. Have you seen that before?
Wait,
You've never seen that?
No, we're
he
gonna watch it
sounds
right
literally identical. Like his voice sounds identical. Everything he's saying sounds
Wait,
like
that's
when he's
sick.
when he's talking about how he had I don't remember who he said. He had like the Spoon Man from Soundgarden there, and he had like 3 roast pigs on a spit at his party and stuff. It's literally, it's like identical to what that kid says.
Wait, I
It's
haven't
really funny.
seen that, so I'm gonna watch it the second
good.
we wrap
I
up
can't
this
believe you
podcast.
haven't seen it, but yeah.
But I just as liking sports, the Chiefs are fun to watch, man. They able to pull a lot of shit out of their ass, which is how they won a lot of the games this season. So I was happy to see a three-peat.
They've become a little bit. It's become like a thing where I want them to lose because they've
It's
won
like the
too
Yankees,
much.
dude. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
you're
you
just
don't
like,
root for the Yankees unless you
this
live
is
in
just
New
a
York.
bunch of millionaires. You know, it's. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, look, I know people like Kendrick Lamar. That's fantastic for you.
We're gonna talk about that
this,
too.
This fucking
Take a note.
this has to stop. Where it's
me a pen,
like,
please.
can you believe this beef? It's like, dude, it's come on. Every time one of them says something about the other, each one
Pen.
makes $1 million somehow. You know what I mean? Like these are just millionaires bickering.
Coley.
We can't seriously be this interested in this.
No, first off, yeah.
And it's always people who
Yeah.
are like, I hate Elon Musk. And it's like, well, hold on, because these guys are just, billionaire dudes bickering about stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna circle back to Kendrick because I made a note there.
Did you make a note?
I made a note.
This is the most.
Because I got a lot of things swirling around in my little brain right now. So I was happy.
Fine. I'm sure people like the performance. Good for it. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. I just can't take this like beef shit seriously. It's so stupid. Yeah.
You're two, like you said, two grown ass millionaires that are saying nasty things to each other through like silly songs. You know what I mean?
Also,
So-
that at some point they'll do a song together and make even more money.
Oh
And
my
you're
god,
like,
they're gonna be loaded
Jesus,
from
dude,
it.
like,
Yeah, it'll be the
who
biggest
cares?
song.
They're like,
So
can you believe he said that? I'm like, I can think of meaner things off the top of my head. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? I didn't even write it down.
we'll circle back to Super Bowl but since we're already here with Kendrick. I don't know when the tides turned and it became like uncool to listen to Drake.
Well, some allegations might be the reason for that.
Okay.
That's definitely part of it.
Okay, and Are those true?
I don't know. I mean, they're allegations.
All
I don't
I'm
know.
saying is everybody likes to act like they weren't listening to Drake for 12 straight years. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I think that the reality is, I think rap might be just canceled. Between what Kanye's done lately, putting out swastika t-shirts.
Oh, that was crazy, yeah.
Insane. He's done. That we can't even, there's no looking past it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
Drake's
That's
gone.
crazy.
Everybody's gone. You know what I mean? I just think, unfortunately, we canceled rap out of existence,
we need to appoint Lil Baby as the president of culture of the United States, and we all just do what Lil Baby says.
Yeah, it's like, I want to say yes, but I'm worried that he's done stuff that's not good. I
think he's probably pretty good. I think Lil Baby's
we go
different.
back to just assuming everybody has probably done something bad because that's what they're like talking about in the music. You know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's like when Young Thug went to jail. It's like, I mean, have you ever listened to Barter 6?
You know, did talk about it a lot. You know, it's like a little tough to. I know you're supposed to, like, you know, there's the whole argument that you got to be able to, you know, you should be able to write stuff down, and it doesn't necessarily mean it. You know, it's just theater. You know, not everyone who's directed a movie did the thing in the movie. You know what I mean? But I mean, it was a lot of I statements.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tough.
I statements.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, listen. The Kendrick thing was fine. A couple of the beats were pretty cool. I'm not listening to Kendrick past Damn. I think Damn was a stellar record and was like a moment in time that I think we can all agree. If you think back to 2017 or whatever it was,
this is kind of like when people are like, Eminem's one of the best rappers. I'm like, you might be right, but that doesn't mean I like the music. And I just kind of feel the same way about Kendrick Lamar. It's like, he might be the best lyricist, and if that's what you're in it for, that's great. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't know lyrics to anything. It's just a melody. It doesn't mean anything to me personally. So I just don't think, like, I'm never going to connect to a guy who's like, I mean, I like Cocteau Twins as one of my top 5 bands. You know what I mean? Like, it clearly doesn't matter to me. Nobody knows what they're saying. And it's just like, that's sort of it's not a part of it. I'm going to make up the words anyway. And then I'll like it because I like those words. Half the time when I read hardcore lyrics, I'm like, that's what they've been saying? I'm like, I like my version way better. And then you can't unhear it, and you're like, well, that ruined the song for me. So I don't think I'm ever going to connect with like lyricists in that way. So I just don't think it's for me.
It's all good. You're not spinning Logic when you get home?
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Absolutely not.
So anyway, Super Bowl Sunday was fun. I want to hear about what you guys did. But
I think the other thing that we need to address, as you know, we're a fashion podcast technically, is the bootleg pants, the bootleg cut pants that he was wearing. This is a big deal.
Oh, the outfit was awful.
Listen, I'm with you, man. He looks like every guy that went to my high school that was on the basketball team. Like, the surprising thing, I don't know if this was a thing in your school, but they would have like the Nike Shocks on with the cut in the side, you know, to further open the leg.
I know what
opening.
you're talking about. Yeah, on the inseam.
So you'd make the little cut, and then it would kind of spread
I know what you're talking
over
about.
the disgusting Nike Shocks shoe.
The Nike Shocks,
And like that with
white,
a leather
dingy
jacket,
ones,
I was like, that looks like every guy that was on the basketball team.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And they all like had like all the basketball stuff, but then they'd go and play, and we'd have to go sometimes. You know, like a mandatory thing. And you'd go to watch them play, and you're like, wow, our team is awful. You know, they're really bad at basketball. This is really ugly basketball to look at. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. My school was not very.
They all play exactly like that boy that you like.
Who?
That big boy that plays.
Jokic?
Yeah. They all.
That you like.
Yeah. They all. Like that would be like my the guys that dressed like Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. All played basketball like that guy.
Here's the thing. And I'm gonna agree with you, but then I'm gonna tell you something. You can
like him if you want. I don't care. You just have to admit it's ugly to look at.
Yeah, he is not making the game more beautiful.
It's flavorless basketball.
Yeah, but he's absolutely dominant. But what I think you actually would identify more with him in his personal life.
Maybe.
He's Serbian, and his whole thing is that basketball is a job. And when he's not playing basketball, he's back in Serbia, and he wants to win championships, make his money, do a good job playing basketball, and then fuck off back to Serbia and buy a bunch more horses. That's what he wants to do.
We're thinking of two different guys, I think.
No, I'm talking Jokic for the Nuggets.
Yeah, no, I know him. What's the other guy? The guy that like has like floppy dark hair?
Who's he play for, dude?
Didn't he just get like, wasn't there like a big trade or something with him?
Anthony Davis?
No.
Anthony Davis just got traded to the Mavs, and Luka went to LA. but
Luka.
Luka Doncic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the ugly basketball.
Well, yeah, but that's one of the baddest boys in the league right now.
That's really great, but he like I've said before, it looks like when you play it, like where we're from, you play like a military school, and you're like, good God, it's like they've never seen basketball before. That's what it. What it looks like. It's like he fumbles down the court and somehow gets it in. I'm saying he does it a lot. I'm not denying that, but my God, it's bad to look at.
He is the most like anomalous. You buddy, if you saw this dude in Target, you'd think either he worked there or he was
his jump shot looks like it's like, and you're like, good God, I'm like, he gets it in there, but man, does it look bad.
So I don't know if you know, but he got traded to LA.
Yeah, I knew it was a big deal. I don't know beyond this. Every time I just pass the TV and I see it, I'm like, man, that's not good looking basketball. But I know people love him.
He's
good.
nasty. So hey,
it looks bad though, and that's my problem. Is like we got to get back to like making sports prettier.
Well, let's wind the clock back. Let's bring back my boy Tracy McGrady.
Gorgeous basketball.
Everything he did looked special, sexy, fluid, and liquid. You know what I mean? You couldn't touch him. He was So anyway, but that's the best era of basketball.
I also think we should dump all NBA players and that should just be and one players. And I just want to see that because it's 10 times more entertaining.
Yeah.
I think it's way cooler than regular basketball. There's no doubt about it.
The professor is still active on the internet.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I
still
check in
around.
on him now and then.
Yeah.
I check in on him.
His name's Grayson Boucher, and for the whole time growing up, I wanted to name a kid Grayson. I thought it was so sick. So
it's like, and I can tell you right now, as like a dad who goes to a school all the time, there's like 55 Graysons at any school now. It's like they're all Graysons.
But that was not a name that I've never known a Grayson in my life.
Everyone was just named like Seth and Chase and stuff, you know.
Alex.
Yeah.
John. We had so many Alexes in my hometown that they strictly went by their last name. Yeah. I didn't call a single Alex, and I had many Alex friends.
Yeah, that generation before us with naming kids was like, who cares? There's like 10 names, we'll just choose one of those.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter at all. Especially boy names.
I don't my mom will listen to this and mom will weigh in on this, but I don't think that she had the name Chase until I was born. I was born, and then like a lady who would end up being a substitute teacher in my school, a family friend was there when I was being born and said you should name him Chase. I don't think that Chase was even like a word that my mom was considering. I don't know what.
We had like 3 in mind. You know what I mean? And I just was like, I need to look at her before I can commit to something. Yeah. And then she popped out and you're like, all right, it's Gia. You know what I mean? Because we had, and like I there's 3 specific women I had in mind when I think of the names, because it was Gia, Willow, and Carmela.
Yeah.
So 2 Italians and a hippie one.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, Willow needs to be like straight black hair, quiet and strange, which a daughter I would also very much like to have.
Yeah.
Gia's not that.
No.
She's a different.
Instead, you got Gia, which is a construction worker, power lifter, remote viewer.
Yeah.
She's name it and G can figure it out.
Yeah. So it was like she can. I'm like, oh, never mind. I know. It's I remember they put her in that like that glass thing or whatever the hell she's doing in there, and I was like, oh, good. And they were like, why good? And I was like, because I want to get a good look at her without fussing with it. You know what I mean? I wanted to just like, I want to be able to spin around and take a look. Yeah. Because, you know, it's like an interesting thing. Like the first time I'm looking at something that came out of bodies, which is insane.
Yeah.
You know, but he looked at her, I was like, oh, it's Gia.
Yeah. It's just G.
So, we'll see.
So, man, what a real hoot going and seeing you guys on that day. When everyone was born.
First people in the room.
Yeah.
You 2 ding dongs.
Me and Coop. Yeah. That was tight. Okay. Well, hey, what'd you guys do over the weekend? I know there's been some events and some happenings, so.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a fun weekend. Abby's grandpa is not doing so great, so she's back with him. So I'm solo dad this week, which I love.
I'm sure.
First of all, I feel like there's just this thing that I have to prove, and maybe it's to myself or just I don't know
Society,
what it's to.
yeah.
Where it's like I can do it all. I can figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know why people treat like dads like they're all idiots. And I'm sure like look, you know, a lot of them are, but there's plenty of dumb dads out there in the world. But I just have this like idea where it's like, no, I'm gonna do it so good.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it.
So I had a busy week for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
just full of stuff because they're always doing stuff, gymnastics, ballet. I have to run a Valentine's Day craft at school on Friday.
Oh, on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is? What's the craft?
I got all ready.
You're good?
I don't know. It's like a thing that the school tells you that you bring the stuff, and I just have to run it. I'll figure it out.
Timbo, I think that is so sick.
The kids know I'm chill. I think kids recognize it, when they're like, all right, yeah, it's a chiller. You know what I mean? We can kind of do whatever we want. Yeah. Plus, I look like the music teacher at school, so they all have this and they like him, so there's a deep respect. I've been asked by multiple of them, like, hey, you Mr. P's brother? I'm like, no, I'm just like a guy, And so they're cool. Plus, every once in a while, when the older kids are playing soccer in the summer, a fly ball come my way when I'm walking GN, and I'll launch that thing for them, give them a real little show. You know?
I love that. Yeah,
and they like that. So I have a working street cred at the school, so I'm fine.
Cool, dude. I think that's so sick. I would love to be hosting a homeroom parent event type shit. I think that I would do well in that situation too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Plus, the thing is too, the moms view dad so lowly that I can't go lower than what their expectations are.
Well, is it their husbands don't contribute? What
know.
is it?
Because
the thing is you and Abby are stellar fucking parents, and
here's the thing. If nothing else, we are always around.
Yes,
you know what I mean. We do everything as a unit.
Gia is not.
We travel
having to figure shit out on her own, and you know what I mean. You guys, if she's got events that she wants to do, you guys are going to take her to it. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my mind, it's the easiest thing you can do as a parent is just be around and available. I think it's the easiest thing that you can do. You know what I mean? That's contributing positively.
Yeah,
just
100%.
Sort of be around.
Not having to wonder if you guys are going to show up. You know what I mean?
You're just going to show up.
Yeah.
So that part's easy. Well, and luckily, because of the job and stuff, it makes it that it's flexible here, and that makes things easier too. Because I also understand. Much as that, I'm saying that there's plenty of parents out there that just have jobs where it's not flexible like that. They can't. There's stuff that's stopping. You know what I mean? Which doesn't mean it's not a desire that they don't want to do something. It's that there's
just within your guys' situation, you're able to be available.
I would always set it up that way, though.
How many days of her life has she spent with us, helping or being here, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When UPS comes to pick up, she carries the boxes out and knows all the drivers and.
She knows everyone. She has a magnetic energy that she didn't get from me. That she's just friends with everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone at school, she comes out and she daps up every kid that and I'm like, who is that? You know what I mean? Oh, that's my friend so and so. Or sometimes she's I don't know his name. We're BFFs though.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Just gotta figure out the name.
The other day when we were in here talking and she comes in and said, Jeep. Hop up, girl. Let's tie those shoes. They were all fucking crazy, and I'm starting to untie them, and I go, "Gee, who tied these for you?" You know what I mean? She goes, "Oh, so and so at school," and I go, "Okay, gee, is that your friend or is that a teacher?" You know what I mean? Because it was knot on top of knot on top of knot, just tied tight. You know what I mean?
Psycho.
She goes, "No, she's like my friend. She's a kid. She's a kid." And I was like, "Well, that makes sense."
She's blind leading the blind. Yeah. As far as weekend goes, I don't really think there was anything else exciting that
you
went on.
guys did Abby watch the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Yeah, but that's when things kind of So and the bets were going bad. It was a bad day for.
We can talk about that too. The bets were bad. I'd love to know if anybody out there listening hit on any of these bets, because in my opinion, the safest bet you could have made was Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown score, and he somehow didn't. But he was the most impressive force in football this season. Every pregame has multiple highlights of him, you know what I mean? But so Saquon didn't score. So I'm assuming that Abby hit on absolutely zero bets. I hit on zero.
You know what I did do? I went to the movie theater. I think I mentioned this to you, and I saw because there wasn't really anything playing, and I hadn't seen. I still have maybe just one more movie that I just don't really want to watch, which is Conclave.
Yeah.
It's about popes or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really interest me, but I feel like I got to watch it because I got Oscars coming up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know who's hosting the Oscars, but it's Conan O'Brien. And as far as Oscars, I've seen all the movies and Conan O'Brien's host. This is like
It's
made
you.
for me.
Yeah.
This is for me specifically.
Yeah.
No one can ruin this for me. I am not
When is
available
it?
that day. I think it's like March 1st or so.
Oh,
It's the
okay. So
first,
it's not
first
like
weekend in March, I think.
today or
No, it's coming up though. So I have like a couple more movies to see so I can make sure I've seen all like the nominee stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't seen A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie with Chalamet.
Yeah.
So I went and saw that, and I gotta say, motherfucker crushed it.
Yeah.
You don't want to root for him, but you're like, damn, it's really good. I mean, it's a weird movie in the sense that it's way more songs than you think.
He's doing a lot of performing.
It's a lot of songs. Now they're like, they're telling a story. It's kind of like, and I like it because I think that you'll like it if you're a Bob Dylan fan at all, because you go and then you're like, oh, it's giving me context for albums and songs in sort of a sequential order that with the context makes the song make more sense.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If that
how
works.
it relates to where he was at that point.
Where he was as a person and where society was, and what it all meant to him and to others, and how those two things aren't aligned, and it's really nice for those reasons. And I don't remember when I got into him, but certainly through like being into like singer-songwriter stuff that he comes up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of the best that ever did it. You know what I mean? As far as like singer-songwriter type of stuff goes, and so I loved a certain, not all the records, but I like him. I like him quite a bit. So I was excited to see just how that went, because it's like he had to learn the guitar and did everything live, and
so he didn't play guitar and shit before.
Supposedly not. No,
dude. And listen. Is Chalamet kind of like an insufferable bro sometimes when you see him? It's like kind of, but also like I do root for him because he feels like a nice fella who is just kind of like also famous, but like it could be a buddy I would have kicked it with.
He's like a kid.
We're the same age. Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's the other thing that you kind of forget is like he's really young, and he's like very like he's well spoken. Whenever they interview him, he can be funny.
Yeah,
he can be charming. He also like is obviously very smart. He knows a bunch of different languages and all this shit, and is learning all the guitar and singing. And like I said, he's doing a Bob Dylan bit, which is like hard because Bob Dylan is like a Muppet.
Yeah.
So it's like when you do Bob Dylan, it feels like you're making fun of him almost because he's so
unusual on his own. But you feel it's pretty accurate? Like he did a good job?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's really hard to get lost in the character because the whole time you're like, at any point you're like, that's Chalamet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's Zendaya? It's just like in context, it's hard to like be like, oh yeah, I forgot that's Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
So there's that, but he's great. I think he does a good job. I think he does. I think that's why people are having a hard time with the movie is simply that. I think if it was like a no-name actor who did exactly the same job, you'd be like, shit, that was an amazing performance. It's just a little loaded because he's such a big celebrity. It's like anytime Brad Pitt's in something now, you're like, the whole time you're like, his name might as well just be Brad as the character. I'm never going to get past
anything he's in, it's a Brad Pitt movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a Leonardo DiCaprio thing. Like Wolf of Wall Street wouldn't be Wolf of Wall Street if it wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio. You know what I mean?
What do you think your favorite DiCaprio movie is? Basketball Diaries?
I don't even know. I was going to say real quick, Bob Dylan sings about Ashtabula in one of his songs, which I think is cool.
That seems like a word.
He says, I'll look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco, or Ashtabula. And it's like, damn, dog, have you been?
He's also like, I don't know if you ever watched like him do anything, Bob Dylan, but he is like, he's funny to me.
Oh,
like,
really?
Attitudinally, he's very funny. Because he like hates it. He hates all of this.
Yeah. He doesn't want. Is he still alive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Bob Dylan's still alive?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
He's old.
When I asked that, I was like rhetorical. He's
been doing some weird stuff in his adult age. Like when he showed up at Bruce Springsteen's like childhood home, and they like the people that own the house now like called the cops, and they're like, I think Bob Dylan's in the yard. And they had to come like escort him off. He just wanted to see it, and it's like
that's so sick.
I just can't imagine being that big of a celebrity. I'm like, I'm gonna go take a walk in the middle of New Jersey at night and just hang out in someone's yard.
Well, you know who else would do that? Bill Murray.
Yeah, he's got that.
Bill did you see his commercial?
Like, what?
Hold on. Yeah, did you see Bill Murray's Super Bowl commercial?
I don't think so.
It starts out with something. You ever look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person it is, and then he holds around a legal pad, and it's Bill himself at yahoo.com, and it's just his email. And there's obviously some sort of situation to it, and we can talk about this maybe on the next pod after I do a little more research, but it's literally like It's just him, and the whole content of the commercial, he's like looking in the mirror and says some shit, and then turns around, and then it's an email address, and then the email, and then the commercial ends. But Bill Murray has been known to like go to a random dive bar in a college town and walk behind the bar and start bartending, and I just think he's so fucking cool. He's so flipping cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Leonardo DiCaprio movies, my favorite movie of his. Do you have one that you immediately think of? Because I've got a couple
I really
that I'm
like
looking
Once
at.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Really good movie. It's him and Brad Pitt both looking magnificent.
Yeah, I really like that movie.
I mean,
I do really like Basketball Diaries a lot. I think he's great in that.
I've never even heard of that.
You know, he's like, you'd like it.
Shoot, dude. Because look, I'm starting from the end. I like The Beach.
That's got to be his worst reviewed movie.
I
Go
like
to Rotten
The
Tomatoes.
Beach because I like the movie.
I mean, I know that you
but
like
I
that
love
movie.
the book.
I know.
And the only thing that relates to them is the name. Catch Me If You Can, Timothy, is a great. The feeling you get when you watch that movie, the place you go to 2002.
Yeah,
You know what
my
I mean?
dad loves
Fucking
that movie.
rules. I think I have seen The Aviator, but not enough to have a particular emotional response to it. The Departed is a good movie. Shutter Island's a good movie. Inception is a good movie. Django is a good movie. Wolf of Wall Street's great.
I mean, he's really great in that role.
You know,
That movie has ups and downs for me, but like it's for like there's some things
Wolf
that
of
are really
Wall Street?
great, some things I don't love. But like the things that are good are really he is one of the good things in that movie. He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
In that role.
Margot Robbie. Perfect individual. She's just beautiful beyond belief. You know what I mean?
I want to
she
be
doesn't
friends
look
with her,
real.
but like it's not like I wouldn't be.
You would just like to go have a girly date with her?
Yeah.
Go to a cafe and shit?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, she seems cool in that regard.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be intimidated by her.
Oh, I think that when you look at her, she's like, it's like, how do you even look like that? You know what I mean? Me and
she
Michelle
looks
say this all the
great.
time.
I'm not
It's
saying
like,
she doesn't
how
look
do you
great.
even like look that put together? There's nothing.
You know me, brother. It's like, she doesn't have bangs and doesn't seem like she'd be mean to me, so it's not really like my thing personally. But I love. I think she's cool. She seems cool.
My answers would be this. My top 3 Leonardo DiCaprio movies would be this: Catch Me If You Can, Wolf of Wall Street.
What is this podcast?
I don't have a third. Those are my 2 favorites. So
I think realistically, mine Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite
really
DiCaprio
good.
movie.
Yeah.
I think.
That's a
Basketball
good
Diaries
movie.
is number 2. I don't know after that.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Most of that's Claire Danes.
Wait, I was gonna say it's Claire Danes. Now, if we want to talk Claire Danes, the only way
like
that
her,
I know,
don't like her in that dumb show you like.
Homeland.
Where she's grouchy the whole time.
Dude, and listen, Homeland is not your show, and I know that, so I'm not gonna recommend it to you. I am gonna recommend it to my boy Cole right here. It's a great show.
I don't like shows that are gray. We've talked about that. That's a gray show. And then like everyone's wearing all gray. The budget for charcoal gray clothes is uncontrollable.
Well,
and
here's
then
the
everything
thing.
is just like it's like a series of phone calls from different locations.
Yeah.
Not for me.
It's like Moneyball, dude. It's halogen core. Not necessarily exactly the same, but it's espionage. It's slow burns. It's conversations. It's somebody rat fucking another.
Abby watches that. I don't know what it's called. Zoe Saldana is in it. It's like a military show that's popular, and every single time it's just Zoe Saldana being the most unlikable character that you could possibly be.
What is it? Is it?
I don't know what it is.
Is it
It's just on the
Emilia
TV.
Perez, Special Ops Lioness?
No. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I'm not familiar. But it sounds like I would like it. It's like The Diplomat. I like a slow burn.
It's a lot of phone calls, and then there's like some situation where they're shooting an upset. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just not for me.
I like a slow burn. I'm down to sit. I like a slow burn. Better Call Saul. I like the world. I like to exist in this world. I like for it to be a long place.
It's like you like slow cinema as long as they do not talk about emotions at all.
Well, here. There's 2. We're gonna touch on that too. But I agree. Homeland is great though. And speaking of Claire Danes, if you watched Homeland, or if you watch it in the future, you will be blown away when you remember that Claire Danes is an actress. She is not this crazy fucking person she's playing. She's so good. She plays this like manic kind of going through a lot of like maybe a couple different mental conditions, but coupled with like, fucking national security type shit. But her eyes are all fucking big and crazy, and you forget that she's an actress. You know what I mean? So, fucking love Claire Danes. Shout out her. Damn it, what was the other thing?
I don't know what we're talking about at this point.
What'd you just say?
What do you mean?
Oh,
that you don't
I've watched a couple of emotional things that I wanted to talk about too that I liked.
I know you're gonna name something, and it's not gonna be so far away from what I would think is.
The first thing is the Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg movie.
Oh, A Real Pain. What prompted you to see A Real Pain?
Michelle wanted to watch it, and she made a good point that
I think it's overrated a little bit, but I think it's a great movie.
It didn't. I was the way that it was being talked about. A couple guys in Discord, or just like it made it seem like
Good
it was
movie, but
I really enjoyed it though. It was
the writing is solid. The casting is perfect. You know what I mean? For me, it kind of ends there. I think that doesn't mean it's not a bad movie. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie. I don't think that at all. I think it's great. I think that it needs to be like an Oscar contender. No. Is
it?
Yeah, yes. Not in every category.
I'm happy I watched it, and it was
it's good.
An example of, which you're going to be happy to hear, of that maybe I don't just like mystery, thriller, suspense movies.
Chase, if I were to even try to like get you into like that type of genre, I don't even think that's where I would have started you. You know what I mean? So like if you like that, I certainly think that you can turn a little bit of a corner.
I think what I need to do is just accept that I'm not as rigid as I think. I'm so black and white, and there's a lot of gray.
So if anyone wants to go back to like episode maybe 1 through 100, I've been saying this for like eons now, but luckily he came to it on his own.
Coming around. So maybe I do watch past lives, shit like that. Now, I don't like super heavy emotional things. That one towed the line.
Explore with me why.
I don't like the feeling of being sad. From
movie. But why is it always sad? Why do you associate it only with sad?
I guess you're right.
There's a spectrum of emotions.
And in terms of that movie, there weren't moments that I felt sad so much as like I just liked the drama.
Relatively light, admittedly. Yeah. That's a light.
But I really liked that. And then also I wanted to say, documentary wise, the fella that sang the national anthem for the Super Bowl, John Batiste. Are you familiar with this fella?
I mean, I know the name.
He's like a musician and.
Yeah, I don't know much about him though.
He has a documentary on Netflix, I believe, about he put together some sort of performance with the symphony and it was a kind of improv.
I kind of remember this. Yeah.
And we started watching the documentary because the trailer gripped me, and I'm fascinated by talented piano players. Which this is, then we can talk about this moving forward as well. Let me write piano. Anyway, it starts out, and it's like the documentary follows him through this thing. His wife.
Are you on Adderall today? What are you doing taking notes? I've never seen this before.
Because I can't keep it straight, dude. You know what I mean? It follows his life through his wife. They end up getting married, but they'd been together for a long time, and she's going through these cancer treatments, and she's better, and then she's not doing better, and she's better, and so there's a lot of that. But then there's a couple different scenes where.
I'll pause you right here. I have troubles with movies that are about somebody being like terminally ill.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like that. Admittedly, that's tough for me.
That was tough for me, but it was nice because I liked how close they were.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was so, but I also don't like. I don't like that material.
I don't want to call it a plot device, but it's something that like it's very impactful. It's very real. I get all that. It's like that one for some reason sits heavier than other ones, though. I don't always love when that's the.
I agree with you. I completely agree. But anyway, beyond that, I don't really have much to report other than there is this one. He in the middle of the movie, he's doing some sort of performance, and he starts out and he says, "This is for." My wife or whatever her name is. And he sits at that chair at the piano for, I'm talking a full 60 seconds in an entire filled auditorium theater, 60 seconds of silence. And he starts off playing piano, and I don't know the terms, but he's playing this, and it turns into this one sound, and then he starts working in these other sounds, and eventually it just turns into like this like kind of chaotic thing that's just like a repeated droning sound, and then he turns it into something else, and when it hits Timothy, it's pure catharsis. I could have fucking jumped through the roof. I thought it was so sick. So now I'm on this new thing where if you have recommendations or Cole or anybody, I would love to go to like a piano recital some sort of like a live performance, whether it's a symphony or it's piano solely, that really I found a new niche that has caught my interest, and I'm really interested in that.
This is a wild ass turn for you.
I know.
That you're gonna get into like classical music.
And it's not that I'm
Modern
like gonna
symphony.
start listening to like fucking Bach or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that.
Chase, this is like we've had this conversation what feels like a trillion times in this room, which is like just allow yourself to this is what I mean. I don't care what you do in your life. That's your goddamn business. You know what I mean? But like closing yourself off to things for no reason.
Well,
That's
maybe
what
I will
doesn't
like
make
Bach.
sense
Maybe
to-
I will like Bach.
I don't know.
What I'm saying
Maybe.
is I would like to
Try it out
I'm open
and
to
then make a
taking in
decision.
more piano content specifically is what I'm at. And in fact, Chris is weird. They always have like violins and a lot of time piano. There's some instrumental things. So been revisiting Chris is weird lately, and I like some of those tunes. But I'm really, really, really impressed by piano. That's the takeaway from this. So anyway, if it interests you at all, it's a good documentary.
Yeah.
I don't care for his music because he also does like pop music
see,
and
that's
shit.
that's the
care
only way
for
I
that.
know him is through
Yeah.
the pop music, and I don't love it. It's just a little.
It's
boring,
like
but-
that dude Porches. You know, when we got into when he put out those live piano sessions, and it's like I like the recorded versions, and I was listening to some of that shit yesterday.
Oh, I think like his production that he does predominantly by himself is super smart and interesting, and he'll
cool.
really push the limits, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
almost like-
I love experimentation in that way because you never know what's going to work. But like to find out that like he's that strong of like a acoustic musician
like what
is
you
like,
can just do that
dude,
too,
yank
dude.
it back, man.
Yeah.
That would be almost at this point a bigger like change in what you're doing than any other like wild production.
It's like the McGee shit. Like, don't get me wrong, those recordings are cool, but and I'm not qualified to talk about what he's doing and the sounds, this and that. To me, to a dumbass, it sounds less full than it could. It doesn't sound as like dynamic, the recorded versions, but like those live versions where it's him in the fucking car and his hair's all cool. You know what I mean? Are you looking up? That is also it's the same thing for me. It's like clearly that dude's ultra talented, but the
You were
live
able-
version does a different thing.
People that understand how to drive the drama in music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are going to thrive in a live environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you know how to operate not just your instrument and your voice and shit well, but you also know how to like pause a bit longer than a recording, or you can feel that like dropping this lower or hitting this harder, or you got your guitar in a place where if you like drive, like especially him, if you dig in on a certain like string or something, it's gonna create a pretty chaotic situation that you can get back under control. When you start to, he's dealing with that. It's just really like who I think does it even better than him. And don't get me wrong, I think he's like everything that people are promoting.
We're
for
talking
him,
McGee.
Yeah. Everything that people are pushing for him is he's right where he should be. You know what I mean? He's an extraordinarily talented musician. The dynamics that he's coming up, he's made people re-interested in guitar for the first time in forever. When's the last time guitar music was popular? It's like truly popular.
No, I'm with you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kids that listen to hip hop, kids that listen to fucking pop music, kids that listen to rock. Everybody that I know likes that shit. You know what I mean? Nobody isn't impressed by that music and that album in particular. I remember the first time I listened to that album, I was taking a bath. I was taking one of my baths, put that on. I was like, oh, I forgot I haven't listened to that record yet. I listened to it and I was like, this is a very powerful record. And I was only like 4 songs in. You know what I mean? It's a game changer type of record. So I'm fully in support. But who I think that owns what you're talking about even better is Dijon, which is obviously, they're kind of connected. Really understands how to like operate a room. You know what I mean? Like where it's like almost like conducting
it's
as
that
much
live
as it
video
is.
in the kitchen where it's him and McGee and they're like clearly having like a really good time. You know what I mean?
But he understands how to like drive like dynamics.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And like
yeah.
that and that is like the big thing in live music is like there's I've seen a lot of bands where you get up there and you're like, damn, they made it sound perfect. You know what I mean? It sounds exactly like it does on the record. They've got it all, they're very dialed in. Songs flow to each one, and that's great. I mean, that's hard shit to do, just to be clear. But it's boring. You know what I mean? When people know that, like, I can feed off the audience, I can drive this, I can change dynamic, like that. Now you're talking about like someone who's making something bigger than just like great songs.
Yeah.
I'm ready for his blow up next because I saw that he was gonna. And I'm not a. Whenever we've talked I've converted slightly. I'm not a big Bon Iver fan, but he just announced his new record, and Dijon was on it, which I thought was pretty
no
cool.
kidding.
Yeah.
Again, I like
he's
Bon
great.
Iver, and I know we started out. I think
He's
the
a
first
talented
episode.
guy.
Yeah.
I just it was like also
look how you sound, bro. I just need you to.
Being our age and like when that album came out, and like if I heard Skinny Love one more time, I'm gonna barf. You know what I mean? Like it was so regurgitated, and But I've also heard like some of his other side projects and stuff where I'm like here, and I'm like, damn, that's good. You know what I mean? He's doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the record that has Perth on it from 2011, little trees and shit on the front. Gas.
I don't know.
But okay, well I'm excited to listen to that. But yeah. Oh, the Porches dude.
I don't know where. Again,
I don't even know what we're doing. Yeah, to be honest with you, but the Porches live shit.
Yeah, it's great.
Is so good. And like you said, when you realize, like, oh, dude, you can just like do that.
Yeah.
Then God bless you. You have freedom to do whatever you want creatively. However, I think, in my opinion, this is infinitely stronger.
Well,
it's so impressive.
The thing that like you forget about like someone like Bob Dylan after watching that movie is nobody in this room I think likes a band to get on with 12 guitars and turn on everything all at once, and you're like, holy God. You know what I mean? This is just like a mammoth of wall of sound and shit. I love that shit. You know what I mean? I think there's something it's kind of like painting or anything like that where it's like you can kind of make a big ass mess and then somewhere in it you're like, wait a minute, something's happening. You know what I mean? And I love music like that. That's why I like shoegaze music and all that other shit. But when you see like someone like that, like take it down to like it's one person in a piano or the Bob Dylan, one person in a guitar in tiny rooms, and you're able to fill a room that big with nothing, you know what I mean? You're like, Jesus Christ, man, that's like a different type of talent. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that's to be able to do it big or small is crazy. You know what I mean? So
it's like when I finally saw Mike Kinsella, Owen in Denver. I went by myself and he played my all-time favorite song, and I was just like, this is it, dude. Like the live version of this is my favorite version of like maybe any song ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I saw him open for Appleseed Cast. Remember that band? And they're like a pretty big, like noisy, like soundscapey type of rock band. And he opened for them
as Owen.
As Owen. Yeah. And he did. I honestly think he controlled the space more than they did. You know what I mean? With tons. It
was in Chicago though.
No, it was somewhere in Ohio, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
or Wisconsin, I can't remember. We drove to see it. We drove a few hours. Went to a Chipotle for the first time on my way to see it. So if I can date this,
I would do anything for some Chipotle right now, dude.
Oh, especially the old one.
Old Chipotle,
old Chipotle, not whatever's going on.
We used
now.
to drive 45 minutes.
I still like
to
it.
Chipotle,
I like any bold, boring food.
Yeah. Hey, I agree.
Yeah. Like eating out of a dog bowl.
Yeah, dude. Yellow bag Lay's, cheese pizza.
Okay, let's answer some questions. Unless you got anything else. You got anything else before I move on?
No, I mean you ask me whatever, I'll riff on whatever, but nothing else happened this weekend.
All right, here we go. Let's get into this. Let's try to answer this question. I think there's something interesting here. What is your favorite way to market / advertise / merchandise the shop or clothes? And what's your least? I think of like.
Give me some parameters here.
Well, I guess I don't really know. I mean, that's why when I read it, I'm like, oh, this is interesting, but I don't know why, if that makes sense. Like, I think that probably my favorite thing to do, or the easiest thing for me to do, is be more on the, like, dorky side of shit. Because I can, like, kind of talk about clothes into
the
infinity.
Fabric and the finishing and this, that, and the other. Yeah,
so I like doing anything where it's like we're doing more of that. Where it's, or you know what, maybe it's even slightly more zoomed out than that. I like when we do like the styling videos and shit, where it's more us trying to, explain to people how to do things with clothes that are maybe slightly challenging to them, or like, more subjective opinions on style and all that kind of thing. Because I think that it's meaningful to me in the sense that I think a lot of people are really fussy and really nervous about this whole thing. And I like being the person who can be like, listen, don't fucking worry about it. None of this matters. It's super chill. You know what I mean? Like, and because I think that that's not the feedback that anyone else gives. So I like doing that because I feel like hopefully we're doing something for the greater good of people who, are intimidated by this whole thing, because I get it. You know what I mean? And I've felt intimidated by it for a long time.
Sure.
And, it doesn't need to be this way. That was just a stupid old school way of doing things. I like anything that we can do that kind of does that. The other thing I like doing as far as advertising goes, is anytime we like build more of a set, you know what I mean, and really try to like make it feel like a whole environment or anything like that. So I like kind of working on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Does that help give you an idea?
No, that makes sense.
I think I'm understanding the question the right way.
Oh, they're good out there.
Some shouting.
Rowdy. My least favorite is I don't like modeling it, but I don't do that so much anymore, hardly at all. But I like putting together the looks. When we have a model or when we're doing a YouTube video or something, I like to like pick through. It ends up being something that I would wear anyway, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's something it's fun because when you're putting those outfits together, it's fun to see if they work or not. Because sometimes just like you do at home, you'll take things out of the closet and go, oh, this is sick. And then you put it on, you're like, ooh, that's not, nothing's working right for some reason, Yeah. Because I don't want anyone to think that just because we've done this a long time or we're like blasé about some of this, like I still, for some reason, like certain days, I just am like, fuck, dude, everything I put on my body looks stupider than the thing
Today's
before.
that day. I'm in my, that's why I got my 101s on, comfortable, don't gotta fuck around with it. I got my Canoe Club hoodie and my Viz vest, and that's it. Like
having that outfit is important. Like where you're just like, I can throw this on and it works. It does what I need it to do. It's not sloppy. It's not, it's like
if nothing else, I don't feel restricted. So at least physically, I don't have to feel like I'm bricking a fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Your breakdance outfits. He needs enough room to any point he could spin around.
Yeah, bro. Listen.
The amount of it's like you want like a hockey jersey level amount of room in your clothes.
Yeah, I mean you're dead on. That's
what are you doing though?
It's Timothy. It's sensory more than it is imagery. Do you know what I'm saying? I know how I want my clothes to look, but that's
secondary.
It starts with how does it feel on my body, and one informs the other. You know what I mean?
You're the epitome of the kid who like puts on basketball shoes and then like runs around the finish line. You know what I mean? It's like it's gotta do a certain thing.
Yeah. No, and that absolutely is the case, man. I
will admit, I'll put clothes on and I can immediately tell you, am I gonna ultimately feel comfortable in this, or am I always gonna fuss with it?
Yeah.
And I'm trying more and more to just have clothes that I don't fuss with. Because I think that's if you're fussing with it, I don't know. So I agree. Look, we've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't think any clothes look right the first time you put them on. I think they all
you gotta
fit
wear
like
that shit. Yeah,
you gotta figure it out. So
like, but for instance, Al's gonna buy that Cotto jacket. I think he's still wearing it, so that's his jacket. You know what I mean? I have it in the size 4, and it fits me, but every time I put it on, I feel like I'm doing this, how I feel when I'm on an airplane. My shoulders are more broad than they should be for the rest of my body, and it feels like in that jacket, I need to shrink myself. So I feel like I'm doing this, I'm shrinking my rib cage, I'm like folding myself in, and so I haven't been wearing it. And so I sold it to Al, and I'll take it. I'll buy from fucking Cotto's website and get the size 5 and good to go. You know what I mean? I feel good in it physically. The 4 looks fine on me, but I couldn't wear it because it was making me feel like I was being restricted. You know what I mean? So it's a sensory thing. Just is. But looking back, I used to wear tight little fucking low-rise jeans with my white t-shirt tucked in with a belt. You know what I mean? It's like, how was I doing that?
I'll tuck a shirt in a lot, but but yeah, I mean, I get you. It's it can be uncomfortable.
Sensory-wise, it's just not. I can't do it, dude.
I think that you can. It's just you've decided that you can't write. You know what I mean? Like you can't write now. Or your desire for feeling a way has trumped the desire to look a certain way. Yeah. And sometimes those things flip-flop. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I want it to look like this, so if it's a little uncomfortable, I don't care.
Feeling. But like, Alec gets what I'm saying, because he'll say, the other day he goes, man, I just tried on the catchball mules, like a Boston. You know what I mean? He goes, yeah, man, these are really cool, but like, wouldn't be able to run if I had to. He's dead fucking serious. Yeah. He only wears shit that if he had to fucking run, he can. At all times, Al can take off at a moment's notice and be just as spry and nimble.
I want to be in clothes that I cannot move quickly in. I want them to restrict me from moving fast. Yeah. Not tightness-wise, but just like...
You're maybe not...
It's too pretty and I'll fall out of these shoes if I start moving fast. You know what I mean?
I'll fall out of these shoes, yeah.
It's not a problem. If I need to run, I just whip those babies off.
Yeah.
And run faster on my bare feet anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
take those off, and what I need to run from?
Again,
I take that Birkenstock off and slap whoever's chasing me. You know what I mean? It's not even a question. I'll throw that chancla at his ass.
Chancla. That reminds me. I'll talk.
Yeah,
about
write that down. How many things are we up to on that pad now?
4.
Yeah.
Kendrick, Philly, piano.
Okay, do you want before
Lost.
we do another question? Do you need to catch up on any of those? Because I feel like we're not going to get to all of them if you don't.
The last one I have is a different thing, and I'll talk about it in a second.
Did you answer the question?
What was the question?
Oh my God.
Do it with things I don't like to do.
No. What's your favorite way to market, advertise, merchandise?
Pulling the outfits. I like styling.
Yeah.
I like styling.
I guess I don't know what my least is. I don't really have like a least. I think anything that takes prep, I don't like as much. If it's like something I have to physically do, I suppose. I don't like when it's like, oh, we got to like read this or do this, because then I feel like I get all jumbled up and screw things up.
I would agree with you. I feel most comfortable because listen, I'm down to riff and bullshit, but what I don't like to do is to speak as if I am the authority. I am happy to share my opinion and the things that I know as fact for having worked at Canoe Club for going on 8 years, 7.5, 8 years. But I also feel like I'm better at sharing my opinions. I'm down to share my opinions, but like straight up fact is a little bit harder for me. So I don't like that kind of thing. Whereas you're good at that.
You also don't want to be like corrected by people because you're like, listen, dude, like if I stuck a camera in your face and pulled you out of your office randomly, like what happens here, and said, hey, talk about this thing, and then you mess up a fact and you're like, that's wrong. You're like,
yeah, it's like,
come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then good, we'll go with yours, but I can't reshoot the video. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it feels like you're like walking on eggshells. I don't like that
I don't like that feeling. I'm down to share my opinion, but as I've said a million times, and I'm the first person to say I'm a dumbass.
I don't like being in anything. I've said this before. If I could be a ghost, or it would be like just my clothes were floating, and then those like glasses, but no face or no body. That would be. And then I'm fine with that. Like if there was an avatar, I would do that.
Yeah. You know,
as soon as we figure out how to use AI, we'll just do like AI versions of us. So we'll still do the talking, but there'll be bodies that
I get to choose the body.
Part. Choose whatever you want. I think it's like an EverQuest sort of situation.
I want to look like the fox in Fantastic Mr. Fox. That's what I want to be.
Interesting. What's going on with?
I was just thinking, not a non-human form that isn't a straight up animal.
You don't have to be non-human. That's what you're choosing.
To be. Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want to look like does he dress like you, or does he dress like him?
I just think they've got a nice texture about him.
Sometimes you get on a roll of just like every next thing is weirder than the last.
No, I think it's cool. He has a suave nature about him. He's cool. It's George Clooney. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love this movie, dude. What the cuss? You know what I mean? But
I'd want to be like I don't know, maybe just put Lara Croft Tomb Raider on.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah.
Not just Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
You're
but
saying a
voice is the
digitized
same,
version of
everything
Angelina
else
Jolie.
is the same. Yeah, I'm talking like PS2 version.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like Tomb Raider 2 version.
I'm familiar. Yep.
Yeah, like locking the guy in the the training area. Is her house? Was that number 2?
I never played. I didn't have a PlayStation 2, man.
I played them all, baby. I love them. I love Tomb Raider.
Well, also, Cole, you have the mic hooked
Cole,
up?
you like Tomb Raider?
He plays. What systems do you play? Because you play old games.
The newest system I have is like a Wii, but that's 2008. And then
what are you playing on the Wii?
Like Wii Sports and like Mario Kart, like
really
that shit.
To me, they could have just put that out and been like, it's just Wii Sports. The machine does Wii Sports, and it would have been like that. Cool.
That was the selling point, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
Was playing Wii Sports.
That was like the most fun thing. I don't know what else was even really on there that I cared about.
Well, and like I remember, but to Chase's point, like I'm a PS2 and GameCube. Those are the two like
PS2 is the greatest. This is actually a question that literally the next question down, which I think maybe we've answered before. But PS2 is the best all time.
Oh my god, yeah,
yeah,
incredible. Like I play Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
You playing online?
No. Just it's like the OG, and then you play against like CPUs, right? You do the big maps, like the instant action. I fuck with that. Old Medal of Honor, like when Medal of Honor used to be like Call of
Before
Duty.
Call of Duty became
like
the
Rising Sun, like such fun games.
Ting!
Yeah, shoot with the
gun,
well rod.
yeah.
And then I'm trying to think what else. San Andreas.
Yeah.
Incredible.
San Andreas, a low one for me in the series, to be honest with you. But I don't know if it's just the one I have least experience with, so that's why that's low on there for me.
Yeah.
I did not like them. I liked all of them. I played all of them a bunch of times, but
No, I mean, I think it just when it came out, like when I was a kid, I couldn't play it, but it would be like I would go to my friends and like their older brothers
yeah,
would have
bro.
it.
Yeah.
So it felt like that, like kind of forbidden fruit. There's so many, all the Gran Turismo games. Yeah, the PS2 is insane. I still play it.
Yeah,
That's
the coolest
only thing I play
looking
now,
one
yeah.
too.
Do you have Need for Speed Underground 2 by
I
chance?
do have it, yeah, but it's broken. The disc got fucked up,
fuck.
so I got to get a new
brother,
one.
I also I broke a lot of controllers playing that game. Yeah.
Well,
that
we-
and NBA Street, remember that? I
Loved
threw a
NBA
controller through a screen for that one. Like, just couldn't stand it.
Well, we talked Need for Speed Underground 2. It hits a point, and it's the map where the racetrack you're on is there's one long straightaway, and there's a bunch of little ones.
Yeah.
And I could not get my car to the point where I could keep up with the CPUs.
I know.
Now, I was a child, but like I couldn't figure out the formula.
It would be like, I know I'm hitting it on. I'm redlining that thing every
Yeah, bro, I'm
fucking
hitting
time.
the walls in the
nailing
right
it,
way
you know
to
what I mean?
bounce
Yeah.
and keep momentum.
Yep.
Like there was strat. I just couldn't. So
I could have ripped my ceiling fan down playing that game. I just got to the point where I hated it.
yeah.
Okay,
I need to get a system. I'm probably gonna buy a PlayStation here this year because we got GTA and Skate 4. So Skate 4, dude, fucking gas.
Right now, like the PS5 has been the best thing I've played on it because
you have one. I forgot,
the trick is a little bit that number one, I have a kid who's around and likes video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
I can't be like go into another room while I play this violent video game. Also, like I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna have to get over it for Grand Theft Auto. But maybe the violence in video games like affects me now, like where it's like a little
Too much?
bothers me a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's soft, but it's the way it is. I don't know
Hey,
what to-
when GTA comes out, I'm doing murders, baby.
I mean, yeah, I'll get
Like,
over it. But the
I
problem
am-
is, it's like my window's gonna be tight because she has to be in bed. But
Yeah.
but we've played the Astrobot series or whatever. That's more or less like a Mario game for PlayStation,
yeah.
and it's really fun.
Yeah.
And it's like challenging.
Did you
and
guys
fun.
get that game? It Takes Two.
No,
Did
Abby
you-
said was
you-
talking about it, but I don't.
Because Coop had it when we were over there watching football one day, and that's when I got in trouble with Gigi because I was trying something or Abby was trying something. She was yelling because she wanted the control. I said, "Be patient, bro," and she got so mad at
I
me.
didn't like the bro. She throws out bro a lot. It's very funny. I really like
But
it.
it's like, and if you guys are familiar with the game Portal, it's like
Oh, yeah, I know
you
Portal,
need
yeah.
to go step on this thing so
Yeah.
that it releases this mechanism, and then we'll twirl this around. You got to jump at the right time. So it literally takes two of you guys. It was a really fun.
Dude,
we
Abby
played
was
for
talking about like
8 minutes.
let's get it and let's play it together. And I was like, I have a funny feeling that we might end our marriage if we played that game because I can only imagine how frustrating like I would be to her and she would be to me trying to get that done.
It was really fun. The 10 minutes we played it, I thought it was a lot of fun. So something to consider. Cole, how much is a PlayStation 5?
Looks like full price. It's like $450, but you can
That
get
sounds right.
Can you go buy them now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
GameStop.
dude. Yeah.
Okay, because I built a PC during early pandemic because you couldn't fucking buy. I was willing to go pay it. You know what I mean?
That's not bad.
Yeah, but if you're
That's not bad
playing
at all,
if you're
dude.
playing
Let's
first
buy
person
that shit.
shooters with those, there's no point anymore.
I
You
have
can't do it.
I have my little Nintendo Switch. Maybe I'll sell that for what I bought it for to try to get a PlayStation.
But I just haven't hit on anything that I've actually loved, to be honest with you, playing different games. I haven't played that many games. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Hasn't connected just yet.
No, it's all good. Did you buy a Metal Gear or anything? Is there one to buy?
Well, Snake Eater's coming out, but it got pushed. I have bought it because I thought it was coming out in January, so
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it got pushed to like October or something.
Well, because that's your shit. Because remember we were in Parco.
Yeah,
top,
I've
top
bought
floor
entire
Parco?
systems for Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah,
just because
100%.
it was coming out. Yeah,
When
I
we went
love
up to
it.
the Pokemon floor,
Yeah, I
and
thought
you're
there'd be,
like, I
like,
wonder if they
Metal
got
Gear
Metal
shit.
Gear shit here, which
Yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
But I wish they did because you were stoked, dude. Like,
I love Metal Gear.
you love
stuff.
Metal Gear.
Yeah.
You've been saying that forever.
I love it. Okay, let's find another one here. Should have been looking while I was talking, but I wasn't because I lost my place. We already answered that one. Okay. If you could have any shop animal, what would it be? Assume you could train or care for anything safely.
Yeah.
Mountain lion.
Raccoon.
I like
A
the look.
big raccoon.
Yeah, like big body. They are.
Biggest one you could find.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't want to put dog or cat in it. I mean, those are clearly the best. And it's not just, they're just the best.
Yeah.
But any big cat, like I've told Abby, given infinite money, I don't really. There's very little I want that I'm not already doing. To be honest with you, like I've hit it. It would just be like me doing bits with money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd like to buy some art. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But like that's it. Everything else I have access to. I don't need to. So let's just say I get like a large sum of money. I'm telling you, animal experiences, bro. I want animal experiences. Anyone thinking about giving me a gift? I only want 2 things: an animal experience or donate to whatever like
to
wildlife,
and shit
whatever
out
the
in
fuck.
Colorado.
You know,
Timbo, because think about this, bro. I thought about this. I believe I was at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, the famed Shed Aquarium, which I've been twice, which is funny because I've only been to Chicago, I think 3 times. So, you know what I mean?
So you went 3 times, you went to Shed both times?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
2 out of the 3.
Why don't you ever go to the one here?
I have. I've said
Yeah, it's fun.
It's, you know, it ends on a lion, though. It's an aquarium.
No,
that
it does
ends
not end on a lion. It ends on the stingrays. Get out of here.
Either way, Shed, though, listen, don't get me wrong. The Denver one's fine. I had a
Also,
good
it's
time.
not a lion. It's 2 tigers, and they're fucking sick.
Well, yeah, they are, but like, why are they in an aquarium?
Who gives a shit? It's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I like the big cats, but you agree. You cannot compare Shed Aquarium to literally any other. Shed Aquarium is the nicest place to go see animals I've ever seen. It's incredible, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a deep connection with fish or water.
Oh, see, I love.
I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I like to go.
Yeah.
I like to go. I like watching any animal do its thing. And to be honest with you, the only thing I wish I could do is just go solo because I would like to sit there and watch for longer.
No,
and when
I
you're
agree.
with kids, you kind of keep moving the whole time. And I want to be in there for like a while. It's kind of like whenever I go to the art museum, it's like I want to go here solo so I can just sit for a while.
I agree.
I hate that like you always feel like you got to keep moving.
The Cleveland Zoo had a pretty dope rainforest building, pretty big, you know what I mean? And there was a group of older ladies that were sitting outside the monkey exhibit with little folding chairs. They had brought the chairs and were
That's
just
what
like
I'm saying,
setting
baby.
up
Like,
shop
I
and just
could
kicking
see
it.
getting into this big time. You know what I mean? Like sitting outside the tiger exhibit with like, 2 coffees, and then I'm just there for like an hour, just seeing what it does.
Yeah.
I watch the cats do meander around the house. So I can only imagine it, if I got a little bit more time to really see what it does once people kind of walk away.
But what I was gonna say about Shed is I had this thought of like, you got all the money in the world. I would donate into oblivion for somebody to let me into the penguin exhibit or to help feed.
I got bit by a penguin when I was a kid. Did I tell you that?
By one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he wandered outside of the area. We were with a group. I saw him meandering around. Walked over, went to pet it, chomped my ass. Had to put a Band-Aid on it.
Damn. But what I'm saying is like, let's say in this hypothetical scenario, Timbo, you got a lot of money.
I deserved it.
Yeah,
you know how I feel about this.
Yeah, you're not blaming the penguin, no.
And just if I ever get an animal experience and I get taken out by one, I knew the risk.
Yeah, no, you agreed to it. They're stronger than you,
Yeah.
and you're in their situation. Yeah. But if I had millions and millions of dollars, Timbo, I would view it as a fun experience to take a weekend in Chicago. Say, guys, I'll donate $1 million right now. But what I want is for the whole week, I want you guys to call me and say, hey, we're feeding the penguins. Do you want to come in? The employees are feeding the penguins. We'll come in and let you feed the penguins. Or, the sea otters need this, that, the other. So do you want to come help us? And I would just donate time and labor. But what I want is intimate access to these animals.
That's what I'm saying.
I want
brother.
the penguins to
the shit I'm talking
feed
about.
them out of my hands and shit. I'm with you. That would be the coolest thing in the world, dude.
Yeah. And okay, penguins, that's fine. I would still look at them. I like them. I like that they're around. They seem cool.
Yeah.
But it's really just like it's the big cat. I want to see big cats, man. I like watching a big cat move around.
Yeah, man. I'm with you.
I want to. You know what? Infinite money. I don't know what we're doing at this. Really, with this is another episode. But I would pay. I'd be like, listen, I'll pay. In my backyard, I want you, because look, I know some of them have to be rehabilitated or whatever. I'm like, do whatever you want. I got all this land. Boom, it's yours. Nobody's going to come look at them. No one's going to bother
pay a staff to come. You guys,
you just help them. Maybe they have a broke leg, fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all I want to do is just have it in my backyard. So then when I go out, I just have like a zoo in my backyard of trained professionals fix. I can probably write this off.
Are you saying like a
rehabilitation
center for animals?
Great. I just want to see them.
Yeah, man.
I just want to be able to look at them with my free time.
Yeah.
If I could not have a TV and I could just watch animals, that I would much prefer to do that.
Yeah.
100%.
Dude, I agree. I completely agree, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if we answered the mountain lion and a what did you say? A big
raccoon? Big old raccoon. Yeah.
Maybe like a red panda.
I was just thinking.
They're kind of like raccoon esque, but
yeah.
they seem a little bit more. I don't know. The raccoons sometimes are outside, especially because like in one of the trees in our yard area thing.
It's like kind of by your window.
It has like a I don't know, fucking crab apple, some fucking
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
you know what
I'm talking about. Yeah.
And they come around and eat those things, you know, at night. And they're out there at night. And sometimes you catch them and they just like all look up at you. They don't leave. They just like watch you for a second.
Yeah.
And they're so funny. Like their bodies are so strange.
Oh my God, yeah.
They just look like fat cats.
Have I talked on the pod about when me and Omari got accosted by those?
I don't know. I mean, I know the story, but
I'll tell the story real quick. One time, early canoe club days, me and Omari, who is Bob's nephew, we were all gonna go out for pasta at a pasta spot in Boulder, which is a dope spot. It's not your favorite, but I think it's gas. I get
what
the
is
pesto.
it? Oh yeah,
El pastel. The pesto's banging.
It's like I'm not like mad at it or anything. You threw me under the bus earlier this week because I was like, I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's just no. There's how many Italian foods are bad? I mean, you're talking about like Fazoli's. I mean, like they're not, and even
I'm sure even that's good. And in fact,
it's all good. It's just a matter of like the scale of good.
Yeah,
I just think it's a little, you know.
Before I continue on the raccoon story, I do want to say in terms of Italian food, I followed an Allison Roman recipe for something that did red sauce. Oh, it was that baked pasta. It was like a stuffed shell, but instead of stuffing the shells, you just bake it all together. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was really good. But I saved a bunch of red sauce frozen in a little container. We thawed it out last night, made some noodles, and got these frozen Italian meatballs from Whole Foods. Instant cop. Every single time my little body enters that building, I'm walking out with a bag of those frozen meatballs, dude. I'll fucking microwave them to eat the meatballs. I thought they were so good. So anyway, Italian food rules. Anyway, raccoon story.
No. He's a big fan of Italiano.
Listen, baby. I grew up.
I love Italian food, baby. I go around Trader Joe's, get Trader Giotto's frozen meatballs.
Listen.
I'm a big supporter of the Italian community.
Listen. Where I'm from, similar to where you're from, there's a lot of Italians. And you play bocce and shit.
No, there's not. My grandpa brought over the handful that were there.
Oh, and I thought there was there's a lot of Italians, in particular in the harbor in Ashtabula. Like there's a lot of Italians. Now, I do it jokingly, but for most of my life, I heard Italian. Somebody passed me that Kraft zesty Italian dressing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a joke or a bit.
That entire sentence is what the Midwest knows about Italians. Oh, we love Italian. I love that
Kraft zesty Italian dressing.
Yeah. Zesty, like creamy. It's fucking so. It's basically ranch
good,
with like oregano in it.
Oh, it's so good. I might go get a can of that. Anyway, so wrap up. We wrap up work. All of us were gonna go grab pasta. Me, you, Abby, Omari, Cooper. Me and Omari go to Cooper's frat house.
It's hard. It's also hard for me. Finish the story and then I'll explain.
It's not a frat house. He lived in a house with 12, 14 fellas. And I can attest to this. And so me and Omari are outside in Coops. Imagine a big fucking house with a big wooden fence around it. But because so many fellas had lived in it for so long and trashed it, there's no grass. There's probably 3 or 4 pong tables outside. And then there's a storm gate, a storm door. You know what I'm talking about? The horizontal doors that open up like this. And so me and Omari we're outside within his yard. We're within the boundaries of the fence. We're smoking some weed, smoking a blunt or something. And we hear this violence.
See, I was going to get to this part of the story because I met you at the restaurant after this, and your eyes were like going 2 different ways. So the story you told after that, I'm like, I don't know what to believe here because I don't know what was real in your eyes.
I look like the crypt keeper.
Yeah, you did. So, eyes going off in 2 different directions, trying to focus on me while you're talking to me.
So, bro, we're smoking weed. Waiting for Coop. He's changing or showering, whatever it is. We're outside within the boundaries of the property this house was on. Again, just a big, and I'm saying this because big ass wooden fence, dude. Tall as the door. I'm talking tall where you can't see over it. You know what I'm saying? Big ass wooden fence. Me and Omar are smoking weed, and I hear this violent scratching in the metal storm doors, and it sounds like a bunch of racket. You know what I mean? Bunch of clanging. I go, what the fuck is that? And we look, dude, and I swear to God, these 2 raccoons were the size of Jeff. Timothy had a
Shetland sheepdog.
A Shetland sheepdog. He was small for a Shetland sheepdog, but he's bigger than a raccoon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These raccoons, Timothy.
He was raccoon sized. Yeah, I think
he was raccoon
bigger,
sized. He was
a
big raccoon size, and I'm telling you, these were on the high percentile of biggest raccoons in this county. You know what I mean? And their claws were from this knuckle.
Who's rating that? Who's keeping track of the raccoon sizes in any given county?
I've seen many. And their claws were from one knuckle to the end of your finger. I'm telling you, dude, crazy. And me and Omar go, oh shit. So we take off. We run out the front gate, close the gate, and I hear
it was coming after you?
This raccoon crawled up the 6.5-foot fence. I watched it leap off, land flat on its belly, and Timothy, you could hear it and feel it hit the ground. I'm telling you, the thing had so much mass. It hit this sidewalk next to us.
You felt the earth shake?
Dude, I swear to God, you could hear it. If I were to jump off this table, how you'd feel my body hit the ground, it's the same thing. This thing had mass to it. And it hit the ground flat on its big little belly. Laid there for a second, got up, ran down into a storm drain. Mm-hmm. But it was jarring how big, and to see it climb this fence, it was insane. So anyway, I'd love to have a raccoon in the shop.
Back when I had quit smoking but hadn't quit smoking,
where
I was, so I would do a lot of secret smoking, like in the evening. So I'd be walking around the neighborhoods at night when no one was around. And when I would do that, there was this one area all the time where it was like literally you could look down in the storm drain and you would just see ding, 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 ding. It's like little yellow eyes just looking back at you, just waiting for you to leave. And it would be like dozens of them.
Yeah, dude. It's so cute. Like my old townhome we lived in, I remember coming home one night and being like, what is that? Whole family of raccoons. Like 6, 7 of them in the storm drain within half a second. Just they could fit into these little tiny little spaces.
Sounds today. The guy from Police Academy. All right, let's do one more. How are we on time, Cole? Are we good?
15 minutes.
Oh, look at that. You got to go? Yeah, go.
He's got to go pee.
I like that you wrote that down so we wouldn't say it and we immediately said it.
Cole is peeing.
Start the clock now so you know exactly how long he was. Okay, let's do this one. What would Canoe Club be like as a fast food chain? Or secondary question in conjunction, if you could franchise any fast food joint, what would it be?
Have we not had this conversation?
Chase, I don't know what the hell we've talked about. I don't know what we've talked about today.
Somebody said something on a YouTube comment, a podcast comment on one of the. So somebody consumes it via YouTube. Is what I'm saying. The comment and said, "Here I am listening to this podcast is with my Air Maxes on this night," and I was like, I don't remember what I said.
That was me making fun of the Air Max. They have the big, the girls at the gym. I'm like, you're not working out that hard because they'll fall off your head. Because they will.
Oh,
you turn around too fast, they whip off your head.
The Apple Air Max Pros.
Yeah. You know them as the AirPad.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody out there has a
shut up. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's just answer this question.
I thought they meant Air Max 9, like shoes, like what UPS drivers wear in their office.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we said something about that too.
They run faster.
It seems like we would have been making fun of hardcore kids if that was the situation.
Yeah. No.
One thing I wanted to say too, I forgot to tell you this. I was at Whole Foods. I think it was this weekend. And I was there early because we'd like gotten up early, and I was like, I'm gonna go just do that run early today.
You go to main Whole Foods?
I was at the little one.
Okay, yeah.
Was it the little one? I think I was at the little one.
Little one is great, dude. Everything you need is right there.
I don't remember. It doesn't. That's not really pertinent to the story. So I'm there buying weird shit, dude. Mm-hmm. It's a long story. I didn't order enough waters, the water delivery service thing. This has become a thing for me that for some reason it's just like I love it, but it's like I'm frantic about it for no reason. You know when you get.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, I didn't order enough, and we needed a little bit more the water because I didn't have water bottles, and I don't like to drink it out of the sink and all this shit. So,
you go fill it up at that little tap in Whole Foods?
No. I have they delivered me the glass bottles and I have the thing. You know what I mean? We ran out. Then we didn't have any other water, and it was driving me nuts because then I'll just drink anything that's not that, and I mostly just like water. So I was like, I need to go get a couple jugs of water to hold us over until the water delivery thing. So I need to go do that, and I got a couple things for Gia. So I'm holding, and I do this like only a man.
You
would.
Ever think?
And I just think I can get it all with my hands.
Yeah.
So I got 2 jugs of water. I got like 3 packs of berries because Gia. One thing you don't realize when you have kids is all they'll run you out of house and home with berries. They're like animals. Like
this
bears.
Is the single most common thread I've heard from parents in regards to how their kids eat is like, I can't afford the amount of berries my kid would eat if I gave them all
the
berries.
amount that she could consume if I just splayed them out. I think cases.
The other day, I don't know if you were here. I walk into Abby's office because Gia was there, so I'm here to hang out with Gia when she's here. You know what I mean? And Abby goes, look what she did. She had taken a plate and digged through the fridge and got all the fruit that was in there and made herself a fruit tray. And I was like,
yeah,
I just love her, dude.
She's a little animal, yeah.
She's an animal, yeah.
So I'm doing
You're
these
in
things,
Whole Foods,
so I just wanted to get that over with, so I could be like, I don't have to do that later today.
Yeah.
It's just done. Chore's done. I'm staying in line, and I'm in one of the, we've talked about the Blackbird's biplane outfits where it's just like you kind of thrown some weird shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe might have just been weird, and I'm not, mentally there. You know what I mean? When you're like, this is just a thing I'm doing.
Just got to get through it and then
doing it quick.
Yeah.
And shout out because they're probably listening. This couple like taps me and says, "Hey," and I was like, what are they? You know what I mean? Because you get tapped in a Whole Foods line. You're like, what lady is going to yell at me for doing something? And they were like,
that's not real beeswax in that, just so you know.
You might want to choose it. Anyway, they're like, hey man, we're huge fans. And I was like, oh, uh-oh. I'm not like ready for this, and it was like, oh yeah, thank you so much. I was like at the store and they're like, no, just we got into the podcast and we love the podcast. She listens now too. And she's like laughing and I was like, oh God. And it was like, it's just so easy to forget that like real people listen to this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to like, it's just like a separate thing in my brain. You know what I mean? It's just like a thing I do for work and then we move on. It's not that I don't enjoy it or anything like that. It's just like, it's parsed out as like a different thing in my head.
Timothy, I
don't think of people like real people listening until someone taps you. Like somebody did it at the coffee shop one time. I forget that they could be in my locations, my separate locations. Because it's like, when you see like a teacher, at like the mall, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You look weird and you sound different.
Who's this guy?
Yeah. Why are you dressed regular? It's a little like that, So it's like I feel like they're catching me and be like, oh no, he's dressed regular. He's shorter than I thought. Or like whatever it is. And it's just like it's like a weird experience. But it was very nice of them to say like that they're big fans, and I think it's funny that he listening, and because he's like, I was telling her all these jokes about it, and then she started listening too. And I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Hey, well, shout out that couple.
Yeah, I didn't catch their names.
Did they shop at the shop, or they just listen to the pod?
They listen to the pod. I mean, I'm assuming they know them.
Yeah.
If it was you, I'm sorry I didn't grab your names. It was very nice of you to say something. You didn't obviously have to say anything at all.
Caught him off guard.
Caught me off guard, so sorry if I was weird.
Getting berries
I'm
and
also
water.
like weird in regular life.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I think we're both like weird guys.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I'd probably give him a big old smile and thank him profusely.
Yeah.
I
was like, I think it's really cool. It's like you didn't have to say anything.
Because, dude, I don't listen. We're not podcasters. We have a podcast. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think of myself as a podcaster. I don't think of myself as having a podcast. It's something I do at work once a week. And then when we're out of here, I will not think about anything I've said ever again until the next time you know what I mean? So it is caught me off guard. In fact, last week, remember, you were coming over there and I was chopping it up with some fella on the sidewalk, and he goes,
oh, yeah.
Chase, I feel like I know you because I listened to the pod and just said, I think his name was Scott. So
I think
we're
a lot of people's friends and we don't realize it. So shout out. You can be our
for
friend.
real. Thank you for listening. It's
honestly,
really flattering.
with the two of us, that type of relationship as friends is pretty much perfect.
Works great for me.
Yep. Because we're not that much fun outside of this.
Yeah, and not that, and I don't think I'm a curmudgeon or anything, but I also don't think that I
just
go
solo guys.
Yeah,
and
like when I'm out and about, like maybe I look like I'm being bitchy. You know what I mean?
Well,
but I'm just like
Abby
not really
open.
I'm not like I'm not because I'm mean, but I'm not necessarily looking for interaction when I'm in public. Like you, especially if I'm by myself, I'm just like doing the task, and then I'm on
to stay out of people's way.
You
know what I mean?
I want to be neither
all
seen
the time,
nor
though,
heard.
Abby will look at me and she'll go like this, stop, and I'm like, what? And it's always because I bite my cheeks. Like it's like a habit, you know what I mean? So I'll do that in like public, and it looks like I'm like mean mugging people, and I'm like, I'm in my own, dude. I'm in my own.
I thought about you,
I'm
bro.
not here mentally. I'm thinking about anything else but what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So I have to be mindful of that, a little bit. But
no, but that's really
it's not
sick.
that I won't chop it up. I'm not trying to dissuade. So I think it's very nice that people would say something at all because you certainly don't need to. And
Yeah,
it's,
no, 100%.
always nice that people like something that you do.
And I hope when somebody says something nice to me in public, whether they recognize us from the pod or just a customer or this and that. I hope that I come off as nice because I'm not a mean
nice.
guy.
We're
you know
nice.
what I mean? I am.
We're just not fun.
I'm very anxious in public, certainly if I'm by myself. So I'm doing my thing, and I don't want to be in your way. I don't want to bother you. I don't want to inconvenience you. I just want to do my thing and cause as little disruption or noticed as possible. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like like the conversations you'd have with like people are not necessarily the conversations I have on the podcast because it's like we know each other well. And
we're very comfortable with each other.
Like yeah. So it's like hard to be like, oh no, I feel like I gotta. Is there something I can do? You want me to do something? What do you want me to like have a take on something?
Yeah.
You want me to be exasperated about?
Yeah.
Exacerbated. It was really nice though. It was nice.
Yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's come up a handful of times, and it's always nice to hear that people are like into it and they think that they're friends, and we are. Like truthfully, separate from like me joking, fucking around about it. It is we do this just for people. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason to do it. I mean, there's no other. It's not like we're doing it. We already do this shit too with each other all day, every day. So it's not like us coming in here is just.
He goes, "Wow, so you guys really."
Just keep doing that. So it's like I don't think about I don't think about it like as a it's all for people. So I think that's not it's nice that that's working. And
it's really sick. And also,
so we are your friends.
I haven't had any confirmation. If you're the homeschooled kid in my hometown who wouldn't have known me, but the pod and you met my cousin, reach out to me because I think that's just really crazy. So if that's the case,
if we have listeners in either of our hometowns, like you got to reach out. You got a special. Everyone gets a special pass. Chicago people get a special pass.
Yeah.
People from my hometown in Indiana get a special pass. If you're from another spot, I don't care.
Yeah.
But Chicago or Fort Wayne, we're homies.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't answer the question at all.
What was the question? The fast food.
Okay, so it's twofold. So if you would franchise any fast food joint, what would it be?
Yeah.
What would Canoe Club be as a fast food chain? Let's start with the first part.
If you could franchise anything, what would you franchise?
Do I get to make alterations to it, or it's just like I own it?
You are literally granted permission to franchise and you own that bitch. You're not allowed to change the menu or fuck around. You just own that.
Let me just say, if I could change it and make it different or make it go back to a certain thing, Subway. OG Subway fucking kicks ass, and now it's garbage.
He never knucks, but I had to knuck to that. I told Michelle because we've been ill so long.
That's an extreme rarity that I don't want to become a thing.
No, but I had to because, bro, I just talked about this with Michelle. I was like, when I'm sick, when I'm ill, and I vomited and I couldn't get out of bed one of the days. I was really in the trenches. There's nothing that would bring me back to life more than a Subway sub. And I'm telling you, it could be ham, turkey, meatball. I don't give a shit what it is. Bring me back your Italian sandwich from Subway, and that will give me life. And it is such a shame that Subway is not the powerhouse that it was. So I think, Timothy, that's maybe the best answer you could have said.
I think that, like, to be honest with you, if I could have, like, the original, if I could, like, go to and the other thing is too, like, I want to do this as an adult because I would enjoy it. Like, whereas, like, when I was a kid and I had to do, like, 3-a-day soccer practices, I'm like, fuck this shit, dude. And now if it's like, you mean I can go outside and get exercise, like mandatory exercise, like, and that's all I got to do today. And then after, I'm going to get a Subway sandwich and a Gatorade and eat it in my friend's basement while watching Billy Madison.
Dude.
Fuck off. That's the best. You just don't realize, like, it's all downhill from here. Nothing's going to hit as hard as this. This is the most fun you're ever going to have, and I'm not enjoying it at all. So if I could just redo that, bingo.
Dude, so much is wasted on the young. Like, it's almost like you should just, like, not really have any responsibilities or have to do anything until you're 20. And then you get to go to school or decide if you want to go to college after you've worked. I don't know, man. Yeah. Because I'm with you.
It's all messed up.
There's so much, like, looking back, it's like, I'm with you. It's like, damn, I get to, like, be with my buddies outside and better my body. And then I get to play soccer for an hour afterwards. And then go to my buddy's house. I have my Xbox 360 in my car.
And then I'm just going to go home and then, like, listen to music on my CD player and, like, text girls. Dude, it just is like, everything else is shit from that. You know what I mean? And in the moment, you're just, like, depressed because you're, like, going through puberty. Let me do it now. Yeah. I would be a different man. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I want to do? I want to be like, I I want to die and then I want to be reborn just do it again, but with all current knowledge. This is like a common. This isn't like I'm not coming up with this for the first time, not an idiot. But like I just want to redo it with like current knowledge. And I'd be like, I would enjoy everything so much more
100%,
than I
bro.
did in the moment because you're like an idiot.
I have a question, but then I want to continue with specifically Subway talk.
I want you to ask the question, but you might need to write down on the paper because I want to ask you. Have I ever told the story of me and my friend pulling the car into the garage and getting it stuck?
No.
Okay, so I'll do this really quick.
Tell me.
I'll try to do it quickly.
Yeah.
So we go to soccer practice. You know, we were on the same club team. Finish that up. We have a different club that we play on that we have to do in the afternoon. So basically, like we have this free time in between. And here was our move. He had a pool, like the only kid I knew with a pool.
Yeah.
And so what we would
was
do,
it above ground or in ground?
In ground. So
Dude,
extraordinarily rare where we're
rich.
from. Yeah. So we come back. We go to the soccer practice. We stop at Subway. Get a Gatorade in a Subway sandwich. We are going. We go stop at the Blockbuster and we rented. I wish I could come up with what it was. I feel like it was like Matrix 2 or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it was. So we do that, and it was like, this afternoon is going to kick ass. You know what I mean? And so we're going to go home, pop in the pool, not even going to shower, just going to go straight into the pool, which is gross, but that's what we did. And then we're going to pop it. So we're listening to music loud in the car. We're like, this rules. We're like 16.
Yeah.
Pull into the garage. Okay, so like... so this is the garage door. So he goes around the corner and he gets the car like stuck. He takes the turn too tight. And it's jammed. And it's one of those situations where we get out of the car and we're like, shit. His parents just got this car, by the way.
Yeah.
It's stuck. And it's like, if you go backwards, it's going to scrape. Worse if we go in. We were like, it's going to break the wood off the
it's going to break the siding.
We have no choice. So we first get out of the car and we're like, no. His parents were kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we go, okay. Let's lift the car.
Yeah, that's where my mind went to.
We can lift it and move it over. This is like a brand new like GMC Envoy. So this is a heavy body car.
Because I was gonna say in high school as a prank, we picked up my friend's Honda Accord and set it sideways between two cars so she couldn't get it out. But this was a '92 Honda Accord, so it was not that.
This is a different vehicle.
Yeah.
We tried, and thinking back, like watching two kids. In like summer soccer shape, meaning we haven't started like trying to build muscle. We're just running.
Yeah.
So we're thin kids.
Yeah.
Cannot move this car at all. And we're like, fuck. Like already that sounds so stupid to even say like that we thought we could.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I think the better option is to pull it through because that's going to scratch it less and it's just going to fuck up the door.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, all right, just game it through, dude. So he just goes, I'm like, it's going to be a thing. We'll just see what the damage is. Pulls it through. Scuff is not too bad on the thing, but he's pulled off shrapnel off the garage door.
Yeah.
So
the wood splintering and
we're panicking, dude.
Yeah.
And so we run upstairs to the attic. We find house paint that matches the outside, which is insane. So we paint it. We just pull off any edges, try to sand it a little bit, but don't want to overdo it. Paint it, and it like is drying. And we're like, I think we've like covered it up, dude. I mean, there's still you look at it and you're like, there's like there's a chunk out of it.
Yeah,
but like,
sure.
You wouldn't maybe notice
it's not
it
jarring.
right away.
Yeah.
The car is like, so we start buffing the car as best we can, getting anything that we can find around that might not hurt the car, but buff this thing out. And we get it to the point where it's like, unless you're in like a certain light,
you might not notice.
See this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think we're in the clear. I don't think we need to say anything. I think it's like we remedied the issue.
Yeah.
And if you're being honest with you, like, what else are you gonna do? What are you gonna replace the entire piece of wood? You know, so we've technically fixed it.
Yeah.
Car's as buffed out as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
We did the job, you know. So we're like, somehow we made it. We go have the worst Subway and Gatorade we've ever had because we're like scared, and he's extra scared.
Of course.
Maybe
it's your buddy that you were always with, yeah?
Maybe 2 years go by. This is like we're seniors in high school. Maybe it was 4 years. It was a while. I don't know.
A minute, yeah.
And we hear his mom come home, and she goes, "You won't believe this." We can hear her from upstairs. We're downstairs, and we're like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Someone hit the car. They had to. There's a huge scuff on the side of it that I'm just seeing. I've asked them for the tapes. I got an argument with the manager. We had this big blow up. He won't give me the tapes. I called the police to come. They forced to give tapes, blah, blah, blah. We don't see anything on the tapes, but where did the scuff come?" And it was like, oh, shit. And
you guys had forgotten about it at this point.
She's like, I have, one of the police officers is going to call me later, and we're like, we got to say something. The cops are involved now. You know what I mean? And so he's asked us to walk up, and he's like, 2 years ago. We have to like recite this story.
You say it to her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In front of his like stepdad who's like livid. And so we have to explain it. And we explained it and they were like, kind of like she was sort of on our side of like, you know what? I haven't noticed it for 2 years. This car's 3 years older now.
Mm-hmm.
I've never noticed the door. We kind of did it,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
They were still pretty. We couldn't drive that car anymore. But
Sure. Fair enough.
it was a fair punishment. I think,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I think it was fair. I
Yeah.
thought we did an okay job. But
Yeah.
anyway, so that's the last time I thought about it. Sorry, you said you had points. Then. What fast food chain are you gonna do? We got to get out of here too. So
yeah, I was just gonna say real quick a thing that my buddy and I would do similarly to you guys. Obviously, you would go to soccer camp, away games. You'd have a Subway sandwich, this, that, and the other. Me and my buddy, when we'd go snowboarding, we would take our Subway sandwiches, leave them in the glove compartment, so that it was a surprise. We had kind of forgotten about it, and he'd be like, "Fuck, we got our subs in the car. You want to go eat?" And so it was a thing that we would do regularly. Love that, Timothy. I think franchising a Subway and trying to better it is so
I know I'm not
good.
supposed to do that, so I guess in that case it's Popeyes.
Hey.
If I have to just leave it as is.
Yeah, that was my first thought as well. But I have a thought. One, I think it's going to be a good moneymaker. Two, it's really good. In-N-Out. I would franchise an In-N-Out.
You like In-N-Out that much?
Day,
I didn't think that you were really an In-N-Out guy.
My tides turned when I had it in Palm Springs last year, and I just thought it was so good.
I think it's the best fast food burger you can get because everything tastes fresh on it. And that's what I'm there for. I don't care about the meat that much at all, really.
I love the little
It's
peppers.
barely there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the stuff that you can put on it.
Yeah, brother.
The caramelized
Fries.
onions if you want to.
Ugh.
All the vegetables feel like someone actually just cut them fresh and put it on. So
Yeah, bro.
It feels, I don't want to say healthier, but like it doesn't feel like, when you eat like a sloppy ass fucking fat burger and you're like, this
No,
sucks, dude. I feel
no.
like shit after. It's
Listen,
no good.
I like a burger that comes wrapped in parchment paper that is soaked through with oil.
That's gross
But
to me. I don't
In-N-Out
like
is
that.
not that. And I think I would choose In-N-Out burger right now over In-N-Out and Culver's. Culver's would be my second option for franchising.
Culver's is the right thing for you to franchise.
Culver's is
personally.
yes. Good clean food. Is that would say?
Good clean food.
It's good clean food. So I'd franchise. I
like that for
a
you. I think
Culver's or
the
an
Culver's
In-N-Out,
is the
yeah.
right choice
Culver's
for,
might
for
be
your
the-
personality.
I mean, the cheese curds, all that shit's gas.
What would Canoe Club be as? Like, what if we made it a fast food thing? I think it'd just be you and I running the drive-through. So it's like the podcast. We're doing it out loud through a drive-through, through a Brittany mic. And I think that's what it is. So we're basically doing the podcast out the window.
Yeah.
Brittany
bitch.
You can just like buy like fatigues and lady white shirts, and we just put
Yeah.
them in a little bag. It's not really that much different than what we're doing now, except we just drive up
Are
to
they
it.
asking though what franchise Canoe Club would be?
I don't think I really understand the question.
Okay, because I like the idea of Canoe Club just having a drive-through window and we're
Yeah.
just peddling off fucking CDG scent and Orslo fatigues and lady white tees. You know what I mean? But if Canoe Club were a fast
I got a
food
good
restaurant,
question. I got a good question after this. Don't let me forget. Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't have anything to write.
I don't have. Ask the question because I don't have.
Okay,
a thought.
okay, I got because I don't like the other version of the question because I don't know what it would be.
Sure.
I don't know if it really makes sense. What would be in the Canoe Club Happy Meal? What's in there, clothes wise? You know what I'm saying? So you get what is it? So you get
an outfit.
you get one thing, like the one's kind of the star of the show. Chicken nuggets or cheeseburger, whatever the hell they put in kids' meals, and then you get like sliced apples. That's more of your like functional player. You get fries, boring but awesome, and you get a fun toy and a drink. So I think that we get to add 5 things in there. So obviously we have to put fatigues in there.
It'd be a pair of green fatigues. For me, if I were to just name one of them, it'd be.
We're gonna come with it. We got to come up with it together. I think this has to be a joint effort. It's not like my version and your version.
Tell me what you think about this. Orslo regular fit green used fatigues.
Yeah, I think this is your fries.
Yes.
This is your fries.
So
it's
that's
great,
the fries,
but it's a functional player.
It's the functional utility based thing where it's gonna get a lot of wear. You're gonna feel good in it every time you put it on. So then for the top is probably the sandwich.
I think that's your jacket. I think that to me, your t-shirt's the apple slices. It's not exciting, but it's good. You have it, and you're like, yeah, this is nice. This is nice in the
And
mix.
what it is, it's the Canoe Club merch tee.
Okay,
in my
great.
opinion, that's,
Okay,
that's the
great.
best tee. I'm wearing the sample of it right now. Okay, so we still need the jacket. What do you think?
And
Do
we
you have-
need the toy, which is maybe the shoes, or it's just an accessory.
The toy would be.
The jacket is, I don't know. Is it a denim jacket just of some kind?
I mean, I think
It's like a fun one.
but we don't have all that many denim jackets in stock right this moment.
Well, I don't. That's irrelevant. It could be from any time we've ever been.
Yeah. It's probably
Maybe it's like a chore coat.
yeah. Noah Johnson be damned.
Fuck off, Noah Johnson. We're gonna wear chore coats if we want.
Yeah.
What did Canoe stop making chore coats?
Evan lost those patterns.
Huh. He's got to come on and defend this.
Noah Johnson?
Just to be clear, I like him.
I do too.
I like him. I want him on so that we can discuss.
I think
maybe he's not
that,
at GQ now. Maybe he can come. Maybe
I think we probably get along too.
Yeah, of course we would. We get along with every guy that's out there. I mean, we're good at guying around.
Yeah, buddy, I can relate to you.
And also,
on
I don't care about any take I've ever said. I'll take anything back. I'll go back on anything I've said because it doesn't matter to me.
I was talking to Mishan last night, and I was saying, I don't remember how I even got on the subject, but I was like, what was I talking about? Something about sports, and I was like, listen, equally as much time as I spent in my life growing up playing sports, waking up early to watch Sports Center, I'm very in tune with a particular era of football, basketball, baseball. I know every player from every roster from an era, though. You know what I mean? But equally so, I know deep cut Korean fucking browser-based, MMORPGs, and I've got all that knowledge. The point being, I could chop it up with just about anybody, dude. Like I don't know who I wouldn't.
I think this is why I think we have versatile interests. I feel like I can talk to hobnobby little pricks, you know what I mean? And I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
And I also am like Midwestern, so if you want to talk stupid shit,
gotcha, baby.
I'm rock solid there.
Yeah.
I can talk about BB guns. I can talk about
fireworks.
Yeah, any of that shit. I'm right there with you, buddy. I know all about it.
Yeah.
I've played sports and both on the skateboarding side and in pretty heavy settings in soccer and shit. And then we like clothes and we like stupid video games, and I can sort of I've actually gotten back into graphic novels, pretty heavy. Read one called Loving Ohio that was great. I really got into this other one called Friday. That's kind of like this almost like teen detective thing, but real like gritty. Written by Ed Brubaker, who's like a master. So I've gotten kind of back into that. So I can shop it. This is what I mean. Like I think I can like low-key contribute to almost any conversation. Fine. It doesn't matter the type of your
I feel the same way. There's areas that are blind spots of mine. And Mishan's family, when they met me, I swear to God, every single male, they fucked with me because I am a phenom at cornhole, as I've said, and other yard games. But we'd be sitting there and I can think of 2 or 3 of the fellas right now and be like, I'm just sitting chopping them. They go, do any hunting? And so a blind spot of mine is firearms and hunting. I don't know about that.
Oh, I disagree with both of them, so I don't like them. So I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what people do. I don't like that, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like guns, obviously, for a million different reasons. We don't need to get into this, wade into this territory, because this is definitely where we don't want to jump in as politics in any way. But it's just the animals thing I've already told you 100 times. I want it to be, you know what? You want to hunt, that's great. You have to go out in the woods, bare hands. You beat a bear with your bare hands, God bless you, man.
You
hang that head on your wall. You own that bear now. That's the deal.
I disagree with you in that I am interested in the concept of hunting as an evolutionary thing.
No, I don't like that. That's stupid. I do like the idea. I do like the idea. We've kind of agreed. Nature photography is kind of all the aspects that seem fun about it without needing to hurt things.
No, I think you're right, actually. What I'm describing enjoying would be no different than tracking an animal to get a photograph of it. That is...
Listen, this is we don't need to... We're way over at this point.
Yeah,
but I said the other day, it's like, dude, if I hid in somebody's house while they weren't home and then popped out when they were sleeping and shot them, that's the equivalent of hunting to me. It's like, well, that's not fair and it's weird and everything about it sucks. Why would you do that? And then you're like, but hunting. And you're like, no. It's the same shit. It's too weird. Just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
You might win an award for that. You're not going to.
Well, because that's the thing is like, I don't want to cut open a poor rabbit.
I'm not going to do any of it.
I want to pet its belly. You ever seen a rabbit's belly?
That's what I'm saying. We'll just get it in the backyard once we're millionaires. And we can just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to be more than millionaires to have a backyard zoo, but...
we were talking to a
not
lady...
Not zoo, animal sanctuary or animal rehabilitation center.
Yeah.
The Chase and Timothy...
When we buy our property, pal, that's what we'll be doing.
No, I mean, I like the idea of if we had the land, we start trying to cultivate a situation where we get animals going.
Well,
maybe that's inviting a bad... Well, I don't care.
Here's the thing.
I'm fine with it.
If we were able to congregate, a family of rabbits, and as the
Yeah,
saying
I'd
goes,
like
they
to
procreate so often. But then the problem is, buddy, we got them all in one spot for one coyote. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to deal with a massacre of rabbits on our property.
Yeah.
Because we've, so.
Well, that's why we get like 2 big dogs that live outdoors.
Yeah, buddy.
You know what
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems good. They can.
Buddies of ours, you know him. I used to work with him in my previous job. Remember we talked about him the other day as a workhorse?
Oh, yeah.
Motherfucker, you put that motherfucker anywhere, he'll work. He'll work until you tell him to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He and his wife bought a farm property somewhere in southwestern Colorado. And they got 2 of those big white dogs.
Yeah.
Like that, literally like bigger than my body. You know what I mean? They got 2 of them. They protect
Listen,
the chickens and all
I
that.
can also promise you 2 of those dogs owned by us would immediately be useless. You know what I mean? We wouldn't train them right. I just like that they were lazy.
Yeah.
Praise them and feed them constantly
Come
for
here,
nothing.
lay with me. Yeah.
They'd be in the house. They'd never be where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. But I
There's
do love the idea of I love the idea of dogs that just like
like, ever
instinctually
seen a
protect
skunk?
property.
Like there's a skunk without a stinker,
Yeah,
and they were at
beautiful.
they were at a zoo, and like they did this thing where like they let them run around and you could pet them, and you're like, these rule. These are
my
just
God.
like weird cats.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They're so cute.
Maybe a skunk would be a good shop animal. Sans the stinker. You know what I mean?
We have to end this podcast.
Let's wrap it up, buddy. Because to be honest with you, we do got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Better spot than yesterday.
Do the whatever's going on.
I've had a couple people
I have to
shoot me
pee
an
so
email
bad.
for a Discord invite. So thank you for listening, and I appreciate that. And if I haven't dropped you an invite, I have one guy in my inbox to do that now. Reach out to us if you need anything. You got questions you want to ask us, you know where to find us in our emails or Discord or if I can say it through Tidio on the site, whatever you want to do, I don't give a shit. Thank you for listening. We've got a lot of product coming in, so pop over to the website. Sales still rolling.
Yep, sales still rolling. We got a lot of new stuff, big shipments, big old fatty Orslo delivery soon.
Fatty Orslo delivery coming. Another big thing, which you'll find out soon enough. We have Aura Lee just got received yesterday. Some Carhartt work in progress. Nanamika might be out there right now, or it will be here soon.
Beams and Sperry collab
Beams
situation.
and Sperry collab is getting ready. I just got hit. Howlin has some stuff ready for us. Frismworks is just about to have some stuff ready for us, and Camille Fortunes has hit us up ready for the second delivery. So I think I'll import that tomorrow. It's looking like. So anyway, we got a lot of new product sales still rolling. Probably we'll bump the next thing in the next week or 2 at the time of this airing. Other than that, if you need anything, be in touch. Like I said, we got big news coming. We'll probably talk about that. Not this next week, but the week
It's on
after.
the schedule. I don't know. Whenever we gotta listen to what they say.
That's about it. And I am visiting the beautiful southwestern United States. I'm going to Arizona and spending the week out there end of this month. So I'm excited for that. I get to see some proper desert cacti and shit, man.
Hell yeah, man! Drop your suggestions for what's good in Scottsdale.
That's where we're going.
Is that really where you're going?
I'm pretty sure it's in that realm. If it's not Scottsdale, it's like touching Scottsdale. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna go out there. I'm hoping to see some snakes, something.
Yeah. I'm not sure where you think you're going, pal, but fuck yeah. I also have Abby, like, I have her on the ropes for letting me get a ball python. So
Are you for real gonna?
She's kind of into it.
Dude, I've
been trying to get a little snake.
No, you don't want
time.
that. You gotta feed it mice, pal.
No, they can eat like a certain. I looked into it. It's not that bad. I don't know. They're what it was. I'm not gonna get in the way of the circle life. That's not. I'm doing anything wrong.
I just don't think that you're keen to go buy a bunch of dead mice.
Then I just won't do it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna raise a vegetarian.
Yeah. Hey, all good, dude. Maybe you could just feed them eggs.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Scramble them.
I just look at them and they got like a cute little smile and they move around. And there's one at the pet shop that I really got my eye on.
For real?
Yeah, I'm not joking.
What pet shop? Do you go to the one over on
I don't know.
30th and Valmont?
It's whatever's by the coffee shop. The Michaels.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, we used to go into it. Maybe it's the same one. But they also the person working the front desk always had a bearded dragon that was theirs that they would bring into work and to just hang out on the desk with them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, like an orange little bearded dragon. I love reptiles and shit. I also, it's not in the cards, but I am loosely every couple months volleying for a chameleon or something like that. You know what I mean?
See, I just worry that the cats are gonna
Well, that's the thing. We got a cat and a dog.
They're very bored, and
Yeah.
they, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
find all sorts of weird shit to get into as it is now.
Yeah.
And I've seen them fight, and they're mean.
The cats.
So,
yeah.
the two of mine, The little one is relentless, and the big one is too rough.
Yeah. We'll put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I've seen it bite a full butt cheek. I'm like, geez, Louise,
Damn, bro.
let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got to get out of here.
Well, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Yep, bye.
Bye.